Hello, my name is Robert Dixon, and I'm the author of Gumbo Joy. Um, I'm here today to help support youth right for justice, and hopefully, um, um, what I have to share is something that inspires someone or teaches someone. Um, what does Pan-Africanism mean to me? Pan-Africanism to me is the unification of people of African descent in the Americas and African people around the world recover, reclaim our wealthy and rich history, culture, and identity after slavery, colonization, or migration that was taken away from us as people of African descent. First, one of the questions is like, who are the leaders in the Pan African movement that I admire and why? For me, it wasn't just one leader. It was it was the leaders of Pan Africanism, and it was more of a unified front that I really connected to because it's more than just uh, one or two or three brilliant people, leaders. It's a unification of everybody coming together and believing in Pan Africanism, understanding and comprehending it, and then moving forward with it, having the gumption, the courage, the wherewithal to really see it forward and see where it is today. Um, the three people who I know the first is W.E.B. Du Bois, uh, Kwame Nkrumah, and Marcus Garvey. Those three, by far, are like the lightning rods who shot it to the stratosphere of where it is today and where it goes further because it starts from the inception point. And take it the inception point, and the early voices of those was like Martin Delaney, Alexander Crummell, and Edward Blyden. They were the early voices, and it's just those things. And the early voices shared those ideas of Pan Africanism and the commonalities between African people and Black people in the United States, and they built upon those voices, and they were very consistent. And because how we get to the modern day Pan Africans is through Kwame Nkrumah, Marcus Garvey, and W.E.B. Du Bois. Uh, W.E.B. Du Bois, he risked his life to state that we should all come together, even move to Ghana. And because he was protesting and letting everyone know that Black people were more than just slaves or came from slavery, that we were rich people, we were peaceful people, we were holy people. And that was the biggest thing. Just as, and Kwame Nkrumah, he coined the term Pan Africanism. It was his term, and it was Kwame Nkrumah understood when he became, while he was the prime minister of Ghana, and just in his journey through life, that he understood that us, the Black people here in America, and those of the African diaspora, should come together, and that we're not just second class citizens, that we should like reclaim and recover our lost history because of colonization, slavery, forced migration, those different things. And I believe those were very, very great points to come together because it shows that this is what we must do in order to lead, in order to see our people come out of the conundrum of despair, depression, slavery. It's still here, mentally, emotionally, in our spirits. And Marcus Garvey was the truth. As far as like fighting for our people to have their own businesses, going back to Africa, not wanting to live here in Americas, and things of that nature. Moses Gulf from Jamaica, and he understood that all black people should be together, and all our culture is one and the same. No matter what we may, what hue we may be, we have African descent, and and we all claim that. We just have to recover our mind, our spiritual journey from whence back when, to say, hey, have the forefathers come to us and tell us, hey, this is what we were doing back then. This y'all do, so we can be like basically looking back to go forward, and we must, because it's called sacrificing and courage. That's the biggest thing, and which leads me to the second point of Black history and why does it matter? And Black history matters because of the construct of racism in America, racism, colorism, and white supremacy in the United States of America. Uh, in the U.S., the white supremacist structures sought to minimize, diminish, and even erase what we contributed to society. We contribute so much to the world society. Every society we're in, we are contributors. We're not bad people, down people, mentally ill people. We are of a rich heritage of peaceful people, respecting nature, God fearing people. This is who we are. We're not what was made out to be about us people of African descent. And this is the biggest challenge. And the biggest part that I learned a long time ago was when Carter G. Woodson wrote the book Miseducation of a Negro. Edu- they used to say the power structure, the dominant culture used to state that if you want to hide something from a person of color, put it in a book. A black person, put it in a book. We're readers, we're authors, we're publishers. We do so much. We love to read and we love to write. We do all the things that everybody else do. And this power structure here made it seem like we weren't adding to society, that we were only like uh that we weren't like real contributors, but just our labor. But we're just not the sweat equity that we gave to the Americas in the world is built upon the foundation of everything that we see here, how it's built, the architecture, the mathematics. When you go to the street light, the inventions, we contribute to this. We're not like a diminished people with just a few people who are brilliant. No, we are all brilliant. We all contribute. And that's what I want y'all to understand, that you all are contributors to this great world. And you must know that. And Carter G. Woodson was the founder of Black history. And that's why I don't celebrate Black history just for 1 month, and which is 28 days, February, where I celebrated 365 days, 24 hours a day, because we contribute every day, all day. When we wake up in the morning and when we go to bed, even while we're sleeping, we're contributing. We're we're touching someone in a way that was very positive and very spiritual, where they can touch another person. And that's the whole goal of it. And that's, and you say, and the black leaders that inspire me are people like Martin Luther King Jr., uh, Harriet Tubman, Shirley Chisholm, Barack Obama, Minister Louis Farrakhan, my grandmother, my mother, and my father. They and my grandfather, they inspire me. The things that I learned about our history are key. I didn't know, and we didn't talk about our history. It's one of the things that you have to look within. You have to look within our own family to see why do we do the things that we do? Why am I more likely to do this? Why am I more likely to do that? How can I refine it or recover it or reclaim it? These are the things that make like who we are and where we're headed, and really feel like we have to like continue on our path of always seeking knowledge, always like trying to learn to be a better person, a better, uh, better, let's say, a better person, a helper, a supporter, not a person that takes away, but always is giving what they can or what they're able to give. And sometimes there's those of us who can go far beyond that, but all of us can't be that. We have to play our role in the role that we know we can play. And one thing is to give back to your community, and that's why I'm trying to give back and to help the young writers for justice know that these are the things, these are the foundational things that we must know in order to see us have a clearer path, a better path going forward. And that's why, uh, by the help of a very dear friend that told me I should write a book, and I wrote Gumbo Joy. And Gumbo Joy is a book about family, culture, me spending time with my daughter, father and father and daughter, like teaching one another, taking care. And it says like what's and how I got to that writing process, the steps I took to get there. I like to do a lot of research and do research, but I also read nonfiction. And when I was doing my research, I looked in the bibliographies. That's the back of the book where all the information of where that person, the author, got their information from. And is being investigated. You have to research the things that you want to know. Information rule a nation. You have to be able to go to that information, find that missing piece that goes into the jigsaw puzzle of life. You have to find, you have to keep looking for it. It's there, but you have to look for it. And that's why I like that's why that part about digging for researching the information for different books, that's the best thing to do. And I prepare for it like a lot of like it quiet, like it is right now, or early in the morning, late at night. Um, just to and I sit and write notes, and sometimes I tell myself notes that I put in my phone, and I put these notes in my phone so I can't forget, can't remember to recall them when it's time for me to start my writing. And one of the writing exercises that I did was I asked while writing Gumbo Joy, I asked myself, what is family and what is culture? And then I asked myself, what is my family? What is my culture within my family? What is my culture uh, telling me, or how do I improve upon it? How can I improve? Can't improve the whole culture, but I can improve me. And that's the biggest thing. Trying to like being self-reflective and then like stating that I have to improve, not pointing the finger at no one else. Because when you point the finger at someone else or something else, there's three pointed back at you to let you know that you, it's all you, is you. And that's just what it is. The finger pointing is just you. That's just what it is. You got three fingers pointing back at you. That's just what it is. See? It is that. So, and my ideas just came from family and culture. And then, and now you actually, there's a question I asked you, why does writing matter? Writing matters because it lives on for eternity, hopefully. It's infinite. Because once you write it down and it's put in a book or you saved your own writings, those are when you could come back to them 20 years, 30 years from now. And sometimes you forget, but if you keep your writings, your thoughts, you write them down, it's a blessing to go back to them and see where you were. That's why some people keep a journal to go back to those, to understand what I was going through this period of time. Why was I feeling this way? How did I come out of that? How did I, who did I speak to? Where did I go? What avenue did I take to better myself or better my community or better my children? Um, this is why writing matters. It lives on. And this is one of the most profound things that writing lives on. Because communicate, if I tell it to you, you can, if someone tells it to you, or you heard it from someone, you can change one syllable, one word, and he changed the whole meaning of the communication. It might have been positive, but if another person said it, it could turn into something that you didn't want it to be because you didn't write it down. You spoke it. And there's nothing wrong with spoken word, but it's you got to have it recorded so we can say, "Oh no, this is what I meant. This is what it is." And I'm so excited for you, Writers for Justice, and what you're trying to do. And I wish y'all to, I want y'all to succeed. And I really feel like y'all know, y'all understand, y'all comprehend, because you wouldn't do this if you didn't think that you do understand what is culture, what is family, and what is writing for justice, because it has been unjust for a lot of people, people of color, people of African descent. We've went through a lot, and it's time for us to raise our thinking up, raise our mental, raise our spirits up, and be better than what this 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 power, this diminished power structure trying to make us out to be. We have to improve. We have to stay the course, and we have to be adamant with our friends and family about where you want to see your people go, where you want to see your culture, and do not be afraid to be to talk to somebody outside of your culture. Do not be afraid to be a friend to someone who's not doesn't look like you, doesn't act like you. It's nothing wrong with being open, but it's being responsible with your openness. And that's the biggest thing is that while we're not connected on a lot of levels with our people in the African diaspora here in America is because we were taught different things, or I won't say it was taught, it was handed down, it was information, disinformation, and things of that nature that made us think that it was something outside the norm of like, but us coming together should never be a problem for anybody. Just think how great we can be if we just start being open and being responsible with our openness and being willing to to understand other cultures and understand how we must assume no form but the form of righteousness and morality to see us go forward. I really appreciate the time that you took to listen, and I thank you, and I wish you the best and greatness. And don't forget this: your your failures should be an arousal of your determination. Your failures are an arousal of your determination. You claim it. Anytime you fail, it should arouse a determination to succeed. That is it. Thank you.